We are now beginning with chapter 10. The fourth conjugation, it's called the fourth conjugation, and the and IO verbs of the third. Very complicated, very complicated title if you ask me. Let's just call it third IO and fourth. How's that? This is what we're focusing on right now, the third IO and the fourth conjugations. Let's review. First conjugation. The second principal part ends in an ARE, and the hallmark of those letters in the present tense are an A. Let's think of an example, amo, amare. Second conjugation. ERE, it's a long ERE, and I'll move it down here just for space. For example, habeo and habere. Third conjugation, short ERE, and we know verbs like duco and ducere. Third IO we'll talk about in just a second. Fourth, IRE, and it's a verb like audio, audire. Notice there's something peculiar here in the fourth. It has that IO here, but it's the IRE that marks it as a fourth conjugation verb. The third IO, just like the third, has an ERE. However, in the third conjugation, it also has an IO in the first principal part, like copio, copere. So I would argue that you could learn the third IO without even learning the fourth whatsoever. First conjugation, ARE. Second conjugation, long ERE. Third conjugation, whether it's a third or third IO, short ERE. And the fourth conjugation, IRE. The third IO and the fourth, the reason they are together is they both have this IO in the first principal part. So what I would suggest you do, no surprise, is continue on with your sheet. If you have done them, you have a piece of paper that you've labeled first conjugation. And you know all the words like amare, put down all four principal parts, amare, laudare. You have a second sheet of paper that you've put down all the second conjugation verbs, like we already said habeo, let's say dokeo, which means to teach, dokeo, dokere, and you have continued on so far. Third conjugation. Another sheet of paper, you have put words like traho, trahere, and duco, ducere. Well, now I want you to start the third IO and the fourth conjugation verbs. And in the third IO, I want you to put words like copio, copere. And in the fourth, we're going to put audio, audire. And continue on with these. And guess what? These are all the conjugations of verbs there are. How's that? That sounds great, doesn't it? Tell you what, let's go ahead and I want to talk a little bit more about the third IO and the fourth, just so you can recognize it and give you some more examples. Third IO, copio, and I'm going to separate them here. Copio, copere, capi, coptum. Fourth, audio, audire, audivi, auditum. Then we have facio, facere, faci, factum, fugio, fugere, fugi, fugitum, venio, venire, veni, ventum. And I hope that you can see that they are all, whoops, that's the erase. Let me undo that one. They are all EREs here. And the fourth conjugation is IRE. Okay? And yet they all have, and I'm not going to highlight them because it's obvious, they all have IO in the first principal part. This would be a problem, I would argue, if we have learned anything or if we have focused on identifying verbs by the first principal part, but we haven't. You are totally used to identifying the conjugation of the verb by the second principal part, and so this is the third conjugation, no problem. We call it the third IO because the first has an I in it. And this is the fourth conjugation, regardless of the IO business. There's no fourth IO. Let me be clear. All fourth conjugation verbs have that IO in the first principal part. How's that? All fourth conjugation verbs have the IO ending in the first principal part. So we don't have to worry about that business. That's just how it goes. All right, let's look at some conjugate. What does this imply? How do we conjugate this? How does this affect? How does this affect the conjugation? In short, because it's an IO, it has an I in it, it keeps the I throughout. Copio, copis, copit, copimus, copitus, copiunt. This is the only impact it has in the present tense. It's that IO, so it has an I in there. Future's a little different. Let's do with the imperfect, first of all. Imperfect. Copiebam, copiebas, copiebat, copiebamus, copiebatis, copiebant. Notice it has that I throughout. And in the future, copiam, copies, copiet, copiemus, copietis, copient. So notice this I in there throughout. There's the new one. There's the new one. All of these are new I's. What are you talking about? What are you saying? What are you asking? What are you showing us, Mr. Bessie? Let me refresh your memory with you want to use duco, trajo. Let's use trajo. Trajo, which is also a third conjugation verb, but it is not third IO. Trajo, trahis, trahit, trahimus, trahitis, trahunt. Imperfect. Trahebam, trahebas, trahebat, trahebamus, trahebatis, trahebant. And let's do the future. Traham, trahes, trahet, trahemus, trahetis, trahent, trahent. Okay, got a little sloppy there at the end, but you know what I meant. Notice that this I that I've highlighted over here in green, these I's, these here, do not appear over in there's no I's here. And that's the only difference between the third and the third IO. The third conjugation you've already learned. That's a T, an RD, the third conjugation. Does not have those I's. Third IO. It throws in the I's. And it's easy to remember because it's a third IO. It's one time it makes sense. How do we conjugate a fourth conjugation verb in the present? Present, the imperfect, and the future. The exact same way. I encourage you, and I'm not going to do it now because I think it's a good exercise for you, to go through audio, audire, audivi, and auditum, and conjugate it in the present, the imperfect, and the future. You know, give the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forms of the present, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forms of the imperfect, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forms of the future. And I think that will serve you very, very well. Let me do one more thing then. I don't know what I've called this before, but it's a chart. The hallmark signs, hallmarks of the conjugations. So we have the present, the imperfect, and the future. And now we have all the conjugations. The first conjugation, the second conjugation, the third conjugation, the third IO conjugation, and the fourth. So let's draw some lines. We'll make a nice little chart here so that we can help to identify when we see a word, what is the sign for whatever conjugation we're looking at. There we go. Good enough. Present tense, the sign of the first conjugation. Well, first of all, that's an ARE. The sign of the present is an A. Amo, amas, amat, amamas, amatas, amant. Second conjugation, ERE, long ERE. The sign is an E. Habeo, habes, habet, habemus, habetus, habent. Third conjugation, short ERE. And that short ERE shortens up into an I. Duco, ducis, ducit, ducimus, ducitus, ducunt. The third IO, also an ERE, but guess what? It has that IO in the first. Okay, that's what I mean by that. IO in the first. And that also has an I. Capio, capis, capit, capimus, capitus, capiunt. Fourth, IRE. And the sign for the present is an I. Audio, audis, audit, audimus, auditus, audiunt. And I am not going to indicate with the fourth the IO in the first principal part because that's standard. That is not, I mean, you can or you can't. That's up to you. I shouldn't impose that upon your style of learning, but there's nothing different there in the fourth conjugation. Anyway, fourth conjugation, the imperfect, ama, bam, the BA. Well, actually, it's BA all the way through, but I'm going to use the letter before it. Abba. There's an E here before the imperfect sign. There's also an E here before the imperfect sign of BA. This is IABA, copy bomb. Whoops, I've indicated too many letters. Copy bomb. Also IEBA. In other words, I would have put BA throughout because that is absolutely true, but I want to take the time to show you the distinction here with the third IO and the fourth. It's an IEBA. And the sign for the future is B, BI, BU, B, BI, or BU. The sign for the future is an E. Ducam, well, sometimes an A in the first person. Ducam, ducase, duquet, ducamus, ducatus, ducent. In this case, it is an IE. IE. Except for the first where it's copiam and audiam. I admit, this is a lot all at once, But this is stuff you've all had before. If you're struggling with this, please select one word from each conjugation and fully chart it out like I've done here, only do all 6 principal parts. That's all 6 forms. 6 here, 6, 6, 18. So there's 18 forms here, 18 forms, whatever 18 times 5 is. That's how many forms they're going to be. There's going to be 6, 6, 6, all the way throughout. And if you are unsure about this, or if you're struggling with it, or if you're wondering anything about it, yeah, pick one word from each conjugation and fully conjugate it in the forms that we have now. Let me know if you have questions.